So we've seen a decline that's come through of around 0.5%. Again, this is just quite small relative to what we've seen in the years before, but still robust numbers coming through. Can we attribute this decline to some of the worries that we see coming through from the Eurozone, given the fact that Europe is a very important tourism element for the Kenyan industry?
Thank you very much. I guess, yes, we can attribute some of the, well, we would say it was not really a decline, it was actually flat growth. And you're quite right to say that the main attributable reason, obviously, is our traditional source markets like the Europe and so on are going through some crisis with the Eurozone crisis. And then also we've had some of the traditional source markets having had some travel advisories issued against Kenya. And as a result of that, we've seen some of the markets have not performed as well as we expected them to.
Okay, what's exciting though, we know that's obviously a very strong foreign exchange earner and coming in at record levels at $1.2 billion. That's for 2011. This is a very exciting number that has come through. And we've seen a lot of volatility with regards to the Kenyan shilling. Obviously, the weaker the shilling, this obviously makes a lot more economic sense for those wanting to visit the country. Tell us about the currency fluctuations and how this has impacted the overall profitability.
I think the last couple of weeks we've seen the government having some interventions in the monetary policy so as to try and stabilize the shilling, and I think this is positive for the economy because again also we don't want to have too many fluctuations of the currency because people want to book holidays knowing exactly how much the currency is going to be exchanged at. But I think over and above that, we've also seen very strong growth in some of the traditional markets. For example, like the US and the UK, they had a growth over this first quarter. US registered a remarkable 16% growth over the same period last year, while the UK grew by about 7%. Yeah. So I would say that, well, it's ish.
Absolutely. So we also see a bit of violence coming through into the country, Al-Qaeda-linked attacks, this also creating a bit of negativity, would you say? Or do you think this is just largely noise that has filtered through?
Well, obviously, any person going to any destination, they are concerned about the security of their status and obviously the security that is offered in the host nation. And I think one thing that is very positive is that the government took some very drastic measures late last year with the intervention in Somalia so as to thwart any problem that was being posed by the Al-Qaeda group. And I think having seen the effect of the intervention, we say that, and we see some very positive aspects in the tourism sector, but of course, it's something that anybody coming into the country is concerned about. But I would say that it's very positive, the intervention that the government took, because that was very proactive action against the threats that were posed by the external aggression.
What's interesting, we saw Britain, the US and Australia warning citizens with regards to the scenario that you've just painted. And in fact, we saw tourism numbers from the UK plunging by 61% in the first quarter. This could also be very much linked to the economic scenario there. How do you plan to ensure that you bring in those tourism numbers once again and ensure that Kenya's brand is not tarnished down the line?
I think on the contrary, UK actually did register a 7% growth over this quarter against last year. The US, on the other hand, grew by about 16.5%. So the two main traditional source markets, that's the UK and the US, they grew when you look at this quarter against the last quarter. However, in terms of growth from other traditional markets like France, Germany and Italy, there was a decline. And this is where we're saying that going forward, there's a lot of aggressive marketing that we need to do so that we can ensure that the brand is seen as a top of mind brand. And besides that, also to reassure the market that Kenya is a safe destination. We've seen some very positive news coming from the UK with the relaxation of the travel advisory. We've also seen the same thing with the US. And we hope the French government is also going to follow suit.
But I've heard that travel bookings from the UK have actually plunged by 61%. Are you saying that this is an incorrect number?
No, from the UK, there's an increase of 7%.
So in other words, it hasn't plunged by 61%?
No, it hasn't.
Okay.
In fact, if anything, if I give you the exact figure, UK grew to 45,000 as against 42,000 last year, which is a 16.5% growth. Okay,
so let's move further with regards to the election scenario as well in Kenya. What concern do you have going forward? Again, we're linking this sort of political element to tourism numbers. And given the fact that a lot of tourists now have quite a bit of option to visit various African countries and have very similar experiences.
The official position we have is that the elections are going to be held in March next year, unless, of course, there's a change. And therefore, what we're saying is that although we are likely to see increased electioneering going forward this year, we obviously have to go out to the market and reassure the market that Kenya is a safe destination. And again, also from the learnings that we have from 2007, 2008, we do know and we do believe for sure that some of the issues that resulted in the post-election violence have been sorted out.
Yeah.
Like, for example, we now have in place a new constitution, which was promulgated last year. We also have a devolved government, which is coming on stream again with a new constitution, and therefore we are not likely to see any violence coming in this country. But besides that, we'll also have to continue reassuring the source markets that Kenya is a safe destination and it's good to do business.
Yeah, absolutely. So just give us an indication of what is also going to differentiate you down the line. And I just mentioned that emerging markets, a lot of the countries on the African continent have a very compelling tourism stance to it. How are you gearing yourself up and ensuring that you advertise as much as possible? And you also have, more competition coming through. Peripheral Eurozone countries perhaps are also a compelling option for a lot of tourists out there, given the political and economic scenario, the dire scenario that is playing out there.
In the last couple of months, again, also moved out to diversify our product offer. As you know, Kenya is well known as a beach and wildlife safari destination. And when you talk about an authentic safari, there is no way you can talk about any other country apart from Kenya. But besides that, we are leveraging ourselves on the strength, which is our beach and safari product, so that we also diversify our product offer and tell the world out there that there are many other products that you can experience in Kenya, be it ecotourism, be it sports tourism, be it things to do with cultural tourism, be it things to do with mice, and also with agritourism. And when our communication message going out there is saying that Kenya is not just a beach and wildlife safari destination, we have many other products. And besides that also, we also are creating more routes so that people, when they come into the country, remember we have a total of 59 national parks and game reserves, so that instead of people just thinking about the famous Masai Mara, Tsavo National Park, we talk about other parks like the Ruma in Western Kenya, we talk about the Northern Kenya, which is really a destination anybody looking for adventure would like to go to.
Absolutely. Fantastic, sir. Thank you so very much for joining us.